Hey guys, before we get started, I just want to let you know about my tour date, September 16th through the 18th. I'll be in Phoenix, September 30th through October 2nd. I'm in Indy at Helium. I'll be out on the road doing some dates with Tom Segura right now, October 8th and 9th in Vegas. I am headlining the Brea Improv on October 28th. All right, we are adding more dates. Also want to let you know ringtones of my laugh are now available. You can go to iTunes, search my name, scroll down to ringtones, and get them there, or you can go to my website, all right? Tickets for all my shows and information for the ringtones can be found on ryansickler.com. This episode of The HoneyDew is brought to you by Stamps.com, freshly manscaped and purple. More on that later. Let's get into the do.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I am Ryan Sickler. Ryan Sickler on all social media, ryansickler.com. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you got to have more do, subscribe to the Patreon community. It's $5 a month. There's no tiers, no nothing. You get the full show, an hour long, usually I do, with y'all. And we're hearing some wild shit out there, all right? So if you or anyone you know has that story that's got to be heard, please submit it to honeydewpodcast@gmail.com, and hopefully we'll get to do a story for you. Hit up that merch store. Keep supporting those Night Pants Nation. We're going to get some live shows going when this shit gets back to normal. Do a Night Pants Nation tour. I'll wear night pants. You wear night pants. You don't have them? Come out. We'll buy some fucking night pants. Sell the shit out of some night pants with you guys. Build up the nation. All right. You know, we record here at the Santa Monica Music Center. So we're working on a podcast right now with ADA, Outreach Through the Arts, the at-risk youth kids I've been telling you about, with the Santa Monica Police Department. They got a badass little podcast we're building here. Can't wait to get that out there for them. And I just love promoting it every week. So that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching these kids how to do a podcast, and they are crushing it right now. All right. If you're new to the show here, welcome. What we do over here is we highlight the lowlights. It's a beautiful shit show. We are shining light on that darkness. And these are the stories behind the storytellers. And today's storyteller, I'm very excited to finally get on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Kinane, y'all. Welcome to the HoneyDew, brother.
What's up, man? We already were starting. I'm like, just roll, man.
That's all you've been saying the whole time.
I'm pent up. I got a year.
So excited to have you here.
I got a year of dumb shit going on.
Before we get into it, plug everything, please.
Plug
Social
everything.
media, podcasts, books, albums, whatever.
Kyle
Shows.
Kinane on the internet. I got a podcast called The Boogie Monster. It was supposed to be about ghosts, but it's just not anymore. And it's just me and my buddy Dave. I don't know. People are like, you don't talk about Bigfoot anymore. How many episodes do you need about Bigfoot? He's fucking, maybe he's real, and then that's it. And then we just talk about food. But you know, Kyle Kinane, and then you find me, and I'll tell you about the stuff.
All right.
I don't feel good. Shame. We're talking about shame. I feel shameful plugging stuff.
Dude, I hear you on that. You said earlier you have a buffet of shame you could go
Yeah, I don't
through.
have any like deep dives. I was watching the clips of the show to get ready. I'm like,
There's no getting ready for
dude,
that.
you don't need me on this show, man. Like, cause I'm like, I don't even know some of the people, but I'm like, I don't know if that's a comedian, but I'm not. It's not like I know every comedian. Let's click on whoever this is. Like, and then when I was 8 years old, my veins collapsed from heroin use. Like, what the fuck, dude? What? When I was 8, I was heartbroken because my friend didn't want to play pretend spaceship in the yard anymore. And you had people out there like sucking dick to pay for food for their younger siblings. I'm like, why am I on this show? I don't deserve to be on this show. This is for much more outlandish stories than mine.
Listen, thank you for the greatest fucking promo of the show we've had right there, because we're cutting that.
I got nothing on these sons of bitches. I got nothing on them. Then I thought I did. I look at my stand-up. I'm like, ooh, man, Kinane really puts it out there. Oh, we really appreciate his honesty.
When I read your list, I was like, I'll talk to him when he gets there. I'll talk to him when he
One
gets
time
there.
a girl made me sad. I almost didn't do stand-up no more.
Well, thank you for being here. You make me feel good, dude. So let's talk about it.
I knew one guy who died, but he was like a friend, but not a close friend. I'm like, I don't want to exploit that. It was sad, but not like the worst
Well,
thing.
I'll let you talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I can ask you questions, or we can do both. Because start with where you're from, and what just growing up was like for you. Let's just start there because I don't know. Where are you originally from?
I'm from a town called Addison, Illinois,
Okay.
which is like 20 miles west of Chicago. And grew up, and not HoneyDew material, just two parents who were loving. And a
they were
sister
together
who was
the whole
great.
time?
Yeah, they were together the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, like as a comedian, you can tell people try and drum, but my dad was laid off.
Yeah, laid off. Yeah, that's the worst.
But then he got another job, and so it's actually kind of worked out.
Wait,
It
you're
was
gonna
a
do an hour about your dad's
transition.
layoff?
I didn't even notice. My parents didn't raise me materialistic, so I didn't really notice. I was up playing with dirt. I didn't care about toys. But yeah, I grew up there, and probably for too long. Stayed there till I was 20. Lived at home till I was 26.
Why?
Because probably my mom is overbearing, and this is the thing too. They're both still alive and watch all this shit. So I still am like,
Yeah, you gotta be careful. What you
say
say.
nice things
Respectful.
because I still
But
love them.
truthful.
They're great. But every time I was like,
Were you in college, like community college,
college? Yeah,
commuting or
I was in
anything
3
like that?
colleges. Went to college for 7.5 years because I never had any opposing force. I never had a reason to become
finish?
an adult.
I see.
I went to a community college, and I was a good student. I was like honor student, smart, not quite the very top of the class,
That's
but up
me.
there.
3.0, B, straight B's.
Oh no, I was like way up there.
Oh, sorry, you're better.
I was way up there. I mean,
I didn't mean to compare myself. I
Intellectually,
apologize.
let's say yeah. Okay,
See? You
intellectually,
honeydewed me, bro.
yeah. Intellectually, we'll say yeah. 28 on the ACTs. That should have been at least a partial
Did
ride
you ever
to
take
school.
the SATs?
I never did SATs.
Man, I'm telling you, I scored horribly on I did it twice too. I think I'm trying to find it. If anyone out there does know, I would love a link to dig up my old SAT scores. I've been looking. I really think I got an 870 the first time or an 880, and then the next time I got an 890. It was 10 more points, and I was like, fuck this shit.
What do
at
they
this
go
rate.
to? I don't even know what they go to.
I mean, 1,000. I feel like you get 800 for signing your fucking name on the thing.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean? Yeah, I was not stellar at a test taker at all.
Because we had like, ours were like the Iowa standard testing. It was a joke, like Iowa standard testing. Then you go to Iowa and you're like, this shouldn't be where we base standardized tests off of. And then we had ACTs, which apparently nobody else knows what those are.
No, we had you could take one or the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could take SATs and they were scored differently, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like 31, I think was the highest. I got a 28.
Damn.
And again, like I feel now that we're talking, I do feel bad. I think my mom really tried her best to line me up for success somehow.
But why
But
are you
first
not
kid-
leaving? Why are you not leaving? Because you're
Because-
comfortable at
well,
home? Are you paying rent? Are
No,
you
I
kicking in?
was going to say, first off, the ACTs, she made me take a prep course for it. So that's probably why I got a score as I did. But then I stayed there, and I was having fun, man. Like, I was one of those people that was raised that you're like, it's like a very 40-year-old virgin type thing where you're so respectful of women, you're scared of them. So unless a woman more or less is like, if a woman was like, I'm going to fuck you, you're never going to have sex. Which
Got it.
is what happened when I was 21 years old and I lost my virginity to a stripper.
Did
and,
you?
Yeah, and she put her finger, the longest one, up my ass. And so there's a story. That's a thing.
that's what
but
we're
that's
talking
nothing
about.
compared to what else has been on the show.
You don't even know that because this finger up the ass might be the literal tipping
was
point
tall.
for some shit we dig into later.
She was tall.
All right,
So
hold on.
that
Let's
just-
go back. Because
Creature hands.
are you at
Talents.
a strip club in town? Like is this a
Let's
local
lead
strip
up to
club
it.
you're frequent?
Let's lead up
Please.
to it.
I love foreplay.
So I want to answer your other question. So I think my mom had gotten me like, to that, like, you respect women. So I just never dated. Like nobody ever dated. Everybody was like friends, and my sister is 2 years younger than me, and like her group of friends and our group of friends, everybody was pals. And then everybody didn't want to fuck it up with trying to hook up. Maybe there was something in the water in Addison that made kids less horny. I don't know. But there was really no teen pregnancy. Nobody was
gonna ask
trying to
you.
hump. And I don't know if it was like Catholic guilt, but usually Catholicism would like pressurize kids to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But we all kind of like were pretty respectful of each other. At least that was my impression of it. If somebody else has a different story, I didn't hear it. And then, yeah, we were just like, I had a band. I was playing punk bands, and my mom would let us.
What did you play?
I played guitar.
Okay.
I played drums too. I attempted these things. But again, it's punk rock. It's not like skill. But then we practiced at my folks' basement. And that's and I feel bad because I know I've done jokes about these things in the past, so I don't want to just like throw punchlines at you. But but it really was like I'm trying to be punk rock, like fucking yeah, I gotta get a tattoo. I got a tattoo at 18. I lost my virginity at 21. I had tattoos by then. And I'm like, I'm a rebel. And then my mom's like, I'm making chili dip for everybody. It's like, fuck no, don't stop making chili dip. It's not punk rock, but also we need the basement on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we got a show coming up.
I'll move bridge to Wednesdays.
Yeah. So bingo nights were Thursdays, so it was good. My dad worked midnights, and so he was out of the house by 7 p.m., and so it was fine. And then she'd get mad, like, they drank all the Pepsi. I'm like, stop letting them have the Pepsi. Don't put Pepsi in the house. Let them have all the Pepsi, then yell at me. We'd yell at them. They're the one drinking it. Because the whole party, like everybody would hang out at the house, and
you were that house.
Yeah, it was that house, but it was like it was still pretty responsible. It wasn't like some sort of derelict house. It was like my mom hung out. My mom loved company and loved.
Yeah, it was a kid friendly house.
Yeah, but this was kids, and then until early 20s, and it was, people drank inside. My mom smokes, so people could smoke cigarettes inside. Weed was outside. She knew what was going on, but just not in front of her, kind of thing. It never got really harder than that. There was like. We did have a big ecstasy phase, and that was weird. Because, like, to do ecstasy and try and be punk rock. I remember.
The house.
So, no.
Okay.
This is, I remember. No, because, like, punk rock's like, oh, you drink and fucking even weed. You're like, it's the hippie shit, man. You drink and fucking punk rock stuff. And then we all did ecstasy at a friend's house. And at first, I remember my buddy walking in, and we were like had like a human centipede of back rubs going on. Just
punk rock. Wait, what was your name? Your band name?
We were the Grand Marquis, and we tried to pluralize it, the Grand Marquis, because two of us drove Grand Marquis, the car, but we didn't know how to pluralize it because it was a French word that ended in S. So
the Grand Marquis.
Yeah, we just spelled it the Grand Marquis, and then people were like, "You're the Grand Marquis." It's like. It's the Grand Marquis, but we don't. We pronounce it as a plural, and we just couldn't. We couldn't figure out how we wanted to spell it, so we never made merch. But yeah, my buddy walked in. We were just all neck rubbing, and he just went, "What the fuck?" And we're like, I guess this looks kind of weird. And then we were like just having this emotional bonding experience on ecstasy, and we were all like laying on like somebody's parents' deck, and all our chain wallets got stuck in the slats. We all tried to get up, but we were all stuck. We all had to undo our chain wallets to get off the deck. So stupid, man.
Never heard anything like that.
It's so dumb.
All of you.
And it's like, the next day you're like reeling shit.
Chained to the deck right now, guys. We'll be back on stage in 5.
Like, man, don't tell anybody we're getting into ecstasy, because even though it's the most loving drug, like it makes you so appreciative.
Oh,
we're just so ashamed, and we felt like we betrayed our punk rock roots by doing it.
Oh, that's great.
But so yeah, I was doing that, and I was playing music, and I was.
Now, are the other guys in the band dating, or are these all guys in your circle too, or is anyone coming in? Everybody was all in the same crew,
and that's why it was fun, because we were friends. I think we had more fun at practice than we did booking shows.
Yeah,
because it was like, oh, no, we got to move this stuff. We got to drag drums upstairs. It sucks. So. We did that. I went to college for a year. I went to community college for a year because I'm like, I don't want to leave. And early on, I got set on this, like this question, everything. Maybe it was punk rock comedy, like the question how things are supposed to be, just with life in general, just seeing either, well, go to college. You go to college. You go to college?
Yeah.
Like
community college. I still went and got my degree. And to this day, the only reason I got it is because that's what I thought we were supposed to do. Like right at this point, the way college is, I don't know how things are going to change. My daughter's 6. I don't think I would push her or to push her into college if she doesn't want to go. I don't know that it's the best choice these days.
Hopefully there's some sort of
unless
reform.
They change what they fucking teach you. Yeah, you're not getting real life in there. That too.
I right away I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm 18, and you want me to pay how much to sort it out?
Right, for a piece of paper?
Nah, man. I'm going to go to this community college, and everybody was having fun there. And it was the best time. And you did think you were still inching towards the goal. Grade. Yeah. College of DuPage. That was like, everybody had that rumor, like, they're going to make it a 4-year school.
They say about every year.
Yeah, stick around. But this was like a big, like,
it.
people traveled from out of the area to like be on the sports teams for the community college. Like, it was like a reputable school. But I did that for a year. I'm like, well, if this is how much fun community college is, I'm going to go to University of Illinois at Chicago. It's the only time I left home and I didn't even make it a semester.
You went to the big university?
It was like a college, the University of Illinois, not the big
gotcha.
one not the sports one, the one in Chicago. And I was there for 2 months. Fucking got arrested.
Arrested?
Yeah.
For what?
Here we go, huh?
Wow.
For what?
How
Oh,
does anyone just glance through? Believe me, if I was sat here and taught that, but you ever been arrested? I would have definitely.
because it was. Don't watch Jason Ellis's interview and then think this is gonna blow your mind.
Listen, there's only one Jason Ellis, dude.
Guys, like, I made a buttercup out of my ball sack and girls drink piss out of it. I'm like, I wouldn't tell that story. That story, I wouldn't. That's a story I wouldn't tell. I would like be like, nah, that one's.
I'm keeping that.
Put the fucking nails in the pine, and that's where that story's coming with me. Tuck that one in my fucking suit pocket at my funeral. So, no, we got me and my buddy Greg, the dude who's in my band. That's who I was roommates with, and it's so dumb. We just went. It was Halloween, and so all along like where people lived off campus wasn't a great area, but like there's Halloween parties. So it wasn't like college town type stuff, but it was still packed in apartments and brownstones and stuff. And so we were just bouncing around from Halloween to party to Halloween party. And I don't think we had costumes on. And we were bored and we're just kind of following groups of people at parties. And eventually he's like, hey man, we out of paper towels? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he just starts taking shit that we needed for the dorm room from these parties. Like no high money items,
Yeah.
like utensils and shit.
Some
Like
necessities.
mustard.
Dude, stealing.
Yeah, just stuff like we don't have relish. Take relish. We're a hot dog night. Take some relish. Look at this apartment. They can get new relish. They got mommy daddy relish. We don't have mommy daddy relish. You take that relish. So he's packing all this in, and all of a sudden, and I'm just egging him on. I'm like, oh, but some of this. And eventually he sees like a sombrero. So now he's got a sombrero on, coat filled with stuff. And we go to leave the party. And this girl goes, hey, that's my sombrero. A white girl claiming the
Sounds like
sombrero. And that's my sombrero. You can't take that. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Puts it down. And I just go, take something else. And there was like, you know how college apartments are decorated, some thrift store mirror with like a sailboat print on it, but big. And he just looks at it and he goes, click, and takes it off the wall. I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. If the sombrero got you busted, there's no way we'll get out with this thing. And he's got it under his arm, and we get to the door.
You're walking through the party with this thing.
And then the same we struggling with the door, and the same girl comes up. I'm like, here we go. She's like, sometimes it sticks, and she just opens the door for us and lets us out
With her sombrero.
Yeah.
You didn't even roll one of your R's, bitch. That's not your sombrero.
No, that's my sombrero. I don't think you can claim ownership, but I'm guessing you didn't buy this.
Sometimes it sticks.
But
It lets you right out.
We ran down the stairs. I think it was off Loomis. Street, like west of the college, and ran down off Loomis Street. Where also to this day a plaster sculpture of my penis is still somewhere in the dirt. And it also has a little Superman cape on it.
Is that right?
I'll tell
It's
that story
buried there.
next. I haven't talked to anybody in a year, but it's so fun to
Take
do.
your time.
Okay. So we run out, and we're just like, I'm like, man, I can't believe you stole that mirror. And right there, the cops were there to bust up the party. So their lights go on because I see people running. And it's blue and red. So my buddy tosses the mirror and it breaks. I'm like, well, that's symbolic.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, man, I can't believe we're getting busted for stealing that mirror because we just hear freeze. And they were there to just break up parties. Neighbors called complaints on them stuff. But we got busted and the party got busted. So the whole party was getting, led out of that building. Well, we're getting frisked on the cop car, and he's just got like napkins and plastic
Paper
forks and shit just falling out of his coat and blowing down the street. And the cop's like, what the fuck is this? And so we went to jail. We went to the drunk tank for the night because the girl's like, yeah, had us arrested. And we thought it was cool because we're punk rock, and you know, you go to like jail and they take your shoelaces and your belt and everything, and we're like scratching our names in the bench.
You want to do a massage?
Zippers.
You want to do a massage train?
I mean, I'm not on the pills for it, but I got to make friends in here. And we were lucky; we got our own cell, so we had like. And again, shit happened, but in the best scenario. Cause we're still drunk. So we're like, man, this is the street cred we need. Fuck that chili dip, mom. And now I'm in jail. Now this is gonna make liner notes for the album if we ever get it out. And they let us out. So we kind of slept there. So we didn't get in the big drunk tank. And I'm sure at that, like Chicago cops seeing two idiot college kids are just like, fucking fine. Like, we're not gonna give you the worst we can give you. And so we wake up, they give us like the bologna sandwich, which is just horrible. And like now we're hungover, waking up. And Jay, like, this is like, now the shame sets in of like, oh, we just have parents that we love and they're going to be sad when they find out about this. And they'll find out because we're guilty and we'll tell them. So they let me out first. I can't finish.
How old are you at this point? 21?
19.
19.
Yeah. I was 19, yeah. The sandwich was so bad and I was so hungover, but I didn't want to like throw it on the ground because I'm like, I don't want to get busted for littering. Like I like tucked it in a bush. I had my bag with all my stuff in it with my shoelaces and my belt. I get back to campus and then I'm in line in the cafeteria and they've got like the Taco Bell and stuff in the cafeteria line in the campus. And so I'm starting to kind of feel cool. Like I got my Chicago Police Department bag. I'm like, ask me what happened, Bibbs. Huh? Bad boy's back. Bad boy's back from Wild Night. Ask him about it. And so I'm in line at Taco Bell and I order, and the dude working at the Taco Bell sees my bag, and I didn't know that there was a sexual assault on the campus the night before. So I'm walking around with Chicago Police Department bag, like, and so I'm just trying to get my chalupas or whatever all hungover, and this dude making them just goes, "Oh, you're the dude that raped that chick," and I was like,
"Oh my,
no!" And then everybody looks at me like, "No!" And I just run. Now I got a bag of Taco Bell, bag of shoelaces, and I just lock myself in my dorm room. Yeah, that's terrible. Like every effort towards being cool just backfired so bad. Would just backfired so much in my life. I felt horrible. We went over to the girl's house. I think we brought them flowers. I think we're like, please don't press charges. We went to court. They never showed up, so the charges got dropped.
Oh my God, that is awful.
Yeah, and then so I dropped out of that. Not long after that, I dropped out of college.
Dude, I'll be out of there that day.
I forgot there was homework to do.
Good.
My buddy was going to Columbia College in Chicago, which would eventually be my third and final college that I went to. But he was taking an art class. And he's like, we got to do sculpture. He's like, hey, man, what if I made a sculpture of your dick? I got nothing to brag about, and cold plaster isn't going to make it prettier. But I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of hilarious. But didn't realize I just had to go to the school to do it. And I'm just like in a studio.
Wait,
like,
it's not just you and your buddy?
No, I'm just like at his class. And like, yeah, we'll just go.
I thought you guys were doing this in like his apartment.
No, he's like, we'll just go to the supply closet. And he's got like a little box made with plaster in it. And it was so cold. And
are you trying to get hard? Or are you just putting it in?
No, there was no. I'm like,
you weren't trying to go for it?
No, because
I think I want to be remembered happy. You know what I mean?
Because I would. What if you had your best effort and people made fun of it?
No matter what your best effort is, someone is going. You don't think someone's going to shit on this show?
Listen, I will lean.
I'm telling you.
I will lean towards, like, given how these things have worked out when I've tried to be cool or look good or macho.
Fair enough.
I've learned my lesson. Just lean into ridiculous.
Good point.
Like, this shit happened to me yesterday. Last night, just personal maintenance, beat off, and then got the email that says, "Oh, we have access to your webcam. Give us Bitcoin," which is a spam. But I got it like right after. Like the timing was impeccable. And I just had a week. I already had cops pull me out of my sister's house with their guns out last Sunday. I had to dig my van out of the desert. I told you, I just talk about this week. I don't have to. We don't have to talk about my childhood. I'll tell you about what happened in the last 7
Hold on.
days.
Let's take a quick break and tell you about our first sponsor, Stamps.com. The summer is showing welcoming signs of a more normal life ahead, and finally, you can get back to enjoying life's little pleasures, like smiling at your neighbor or seeing a movie and going to the post office. All right, some parts of normal life aren't so great, but with Stamps.com, you can skip trips to the post office and save on postage. Mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. You can send letters, you can ship packages and pay less, a lot less, with discounted rates from USPS and UPS. Shout out to UPS, Baltimore Hub, Primary 1, Joe Avenue. Stamps.com saves businesses thousands of hours and tons of money every year. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving nearly 1 million small business owners like you time and money. And they offer deals you can't get anywhere else, like up to 40% off of USPS and up to 66% off of UPS shipping rates. And with their Switch and Save feature, you can quickly compare carriers to find the best rates every time. Stop wasting time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with my promo code HoneyDew, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial and free postage and a digital scale. There's no long-term commitments or contracts. So just go to Stamps.com. You click on the mic at the top of the homepage and type in HoneyDew. That's Stamps.com, promo code HoneyDew. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Our next sponsor is Freshly. Are you stressed? Are you tired? Or you just don't feel like cooking? Food that's fast doesn't have to be fast food. Freshly offers quality meals without the hard work of prepping, cooking, and cleaning. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door. There's no cooking required. Grocery shopping and cooking can be a pain, especially right now. And with Freshly, you don't have to. Your meals arrive cooked, and they're fresh every week, so you can keep your fridge stocked and skip the trip to the store. Ordering is easy. You visit freshly.com. You can choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like steak peppercorn, sausage baked penne, or their chicken pesto bowl, which I really like. Freshly can fit your lifestyle with a variety of plans and meals to pick from that work for your dietary needs, preferences, taste, and family size. And now, my listeners can try Freshly for just $6.16 a meal. All right, that's cheaper than fast food, and this is so much healthier for you. I love having it in the fridge at home. When I come home late from a show or a long day or something, I don't stop and grab fast food. I hit my Freshlies up, all right? So stop searching the internet for healthy food near me every night and start living life freshly. Your meals are always delivered fresh, never frozen, and ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. With new meals added each week, Freshly brings the convenience of chef-made, nutritionist design classics right to your kitchen. That's freshly.com/honeydew for $40 off your first 2 orders. Right now, Freshly's offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/honeydew. You got to try it out. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/honeydew for $40 off your first 2 orders. Now, let's get back to the do. Let's get back to your dick and plaster in front of a class right now. Can we jump back to that?
Okay, so it's in there. I'm like, "Dude, this is going to be silly." And my buddy's real funny, too. Because, I mean, what's your plan? He's like, because he's taking these art classes. But again, we're all in college because we think we have to be, but nobody's taking it seriously. So he's like, "Oh, I'm going to draw a face on the head and put a little Superman cape on it." And I'm like, "All right, that's hilarious." So he gets it, and they're trying to break the plaster off from around, like, where the mold is poured in. And even the teacher's like, "Where is it?" I'm like, "All right, I don't need that." I'm giving myself to art. I'm being brave.
The teacher was fine with this. It wasn't like a surprise.
It's an art school that you did not need a high school diploma to get into. So their bar was real low.
Okay.
And so he did it. And it was like in a little cabinet there. It was just like little sad balls and a little tiny peen. But the cape, the Superman cape that he put on, it was funny. But then we were at some other party by UIC one night. He's like, "I brought this back." I was like, "I don't want it." And I threw it through a window. So that's in an empty lot. Yeah, that's in an empty lot off Loomis somewhere. If they haven't put condos over
There's
it.
some construction worker out
Some
there.
archaeologist in 500 years analyzing the roots of gentrification is going to find that in the West Loop.
Oh, my God. All right, you said quite a few things. We got being pulled out of your sister's house. We have let's go back. All right, we're going chronologically here. Your dick's literally in the dirt now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
It is.
Let's talk about this virginity story. How do you not date at all?
Yeah, like I want to give you fresh stories.
Yeah, please.
I've told you. I never had girlfriends. I never.
So you didn't even have a girlfriend before you lost your virginity?
No, really, no.
Okay.
I think I had dated. The idea of like trying to meet a girl stressed me out so much.
Plus, it would have had to have been outside your circle too.
Had to have been outside the circle because nobody wanted to jeopardize friendships or make things work. At least I did not. And anytime I went out, I had more fun. I didn't have the kind of group of friends that was like, yeah, we're gonna go out and meet chicks. Like, no, we're gonna go out to have the best time. Like I had so much fun. And also I thought I was preserving that fun by not trying to date it. I looked at it like a career or something. Like you do this later. Like I wasn't. And part of me, I just felt like a loser too. Cause I'm like, I live at home. Like I don't have much to offer, you know. I remember like, you know, you meet girls out, like, let's go back to your place. Like, we can't really do that. Cause it's 25 miles away and my mom's still up. She gets home from bingo and hangs out for a while.
The basement's hers
Yeah,
tonight.
hangs out watching HGTV for a while. That shit's on right now on 3 different TVs on the same channel in my
At
house.
her house, yeah.
I go back home and it's like being in a stadium when they make an announcement because everything's on like a half-second delay. But it's the same thing on every TV. It's like, why can't you appreciate silence? What's wrong with you people? Just sit and enjoy. You live in the suburbs. There's birds and shit. Enjoy that. Anyway, so at this point in my super cool, what at the time I thought was cool jobs in a working class, I really thought I was like this Mike Ness, Bruce Springsteen hybrid, blue collar punk rock. And I was just a fucking loser. I delivered pizzas and worked at a gas station. But because I rolled the sleeves up on my gas station uniform, I was like, I'm a bad boy. I didn't even work. I didn't even fix the cars. I was a cashier. So
Not even doing the man.
no, I was a fucking cashier. My hands were clean. I cleaned. I did have to watch.
The only guy at the gas station with a clean hand.
Yeah, I had to clean the toilets. I did have to clean the toilets. That was my job, was cleaning gas station bathrooms. And so I was in there and this gal came in and just real tall. Like I'm 5'8". I'm not big, but I'd probably 6 feet plus. And a lanky gal, and it was night shift. She's like, you know any shoe stores open? It was like 9:30 at night. I'm like, the fuck is shoes at 9:30 at night? And I let her use I'm like looking through the phone book for her. She didn't tell me why she needed shoes, and I let her use the phone because it's like pre or just right around where not everybody had a cell phone kind of days. Because this had to be like 97 or so. Late 90s. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't need shoes. I don't know, a shoe store or something. She's like, all right, well, thanks for your help. She's like, I work down at All Stars, which is a strip club down the street. She's like, come in, I'll give you a free dance. I'm like, oh, well, all right. Hey.
Sleeves are working, bro.
Yeah, I'm
Those
like,
sleeves
of
are
course,
working.
of course. Naturally. Oh, bad boy rides again.
Gas station bad boy.
Once
right?
again, I still had not learned a lesson
Yep.
about leaning into this shit. And also being horny old virgins. I would say that's an old virgin is
22,
21.
21.
21
Yeah,
I was.
It's up there.
Yeah, that's an old virgin. I call my other buddy who's an old virgin. I'm like, man, you're not going to believe what happened. We go to the strip club, I can get a free dance. Like that's the limit I thought this night was going to go.
And had you ever at that time been to a strip club?
Oh, yeah, we were going to strip
Okay,
clubs.
all right.
The one we were going to, we had already been to, and they were fun because we used to like play like joke songs, and they would dance to them for us. Because like we'd go on a Tuesday, and they're bored, and we'd spend what little money we had, and like we were fun too. That's the thing. We weren't creeps.
Right,
As much as we wanted to see naked ladies, we also wanted like fun was the priority.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, will you dance the Pac-Man Fever? And I'm like, yeah, we'll dance the Pac-Man Fever. And we think of shit. And, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
We are fun people. So my buddy and I went, and I remember, God damn, the efforts to be cool. First off,
Let me ask you this real quick. How long between the offer and you guys going? Like that night?
Oh, I think I was off of work at 10.
And you went that night?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not letting this thing dry up.
Okay.
I'm not letting this offer dry up. This coupon shall not expire. So we go, and our routine's like, all right, beers are already going to be expensive, so we're going to drink in the car. And you know how real rock and rollers, real hardcore rock and rollers always like to split a half pint of Captain Morgan spiced rum, because that's the most rock and roll drink we could stomach at the time. So we're like, oh man, like you think like whiskey or something. Like, no, spiced rum. Spiced rum in somebody's mom's Jetta. So we're sitting out there doing that. And I remember distinctly my buddy laughing at me because we were listening to the Misfits, and I didn't know. I was singing along to the song Skulls, but I didn't know the lyric was Skulls, and I thought he was singing I Want Your Touch. So I was like, I want your touch. I need your touch. And
I think Bronger did that song at the goddamn Comedy Jam.
Did he do it?
It was Bronger, me, Larson, and Bill Burris, the first live one of that version. I think he did that song.
He did Skulls?
He did, yeah.
He's got a good voice.
Yeah.
He's deceptively a good singer.
He was
and he
good.
shimmies, too.
Yeah,
And he shakes.
was up there fucking giving it.
Well, I'm singing this. This is the same dude who made the like Dick Superman that I went with.
Got it.
Yeah, we're kind of brothers in arms at this point.
Yeah, you are.
And he's like, what are you singing? I'm like, I want your touch. He's like, it's Skull. It's the Misfits. The fuck does he want to touch? And I'm like, I thought it was like a devil touch. It'd be like a
devil touch.
Yeah, it'd be like a demonic touch. Like you touch somebody, they turn into a zombie or something. But I remember that moment. I remember going inside, and then the gal being like, "Oh, you're here," and these details. I have told this. I wrote this story when I did get to my third college and was taking creative writing, and I was like, "Well, let's put this story out there." And they're like, "This is a good story." I'm like, "I wish it wasn't." Her stage name was Crystal, which was ironic because she was not fragile in the least. She danced. She danced to this song. Do you know the band Jackal?
I do remember Jackal. They didn't have like a chainsaw on one of their songs.
The Lumberjack. There's a song called The Lumberjack.
I'm right here with you, Kinane.
Where instead of a guitar solo, it's a chainsaw.
I'm right here with you, bro.
I'm a lumberjack now, baby. That's what she danced to.
So this is definitely a white girl, I'm assuming.
White girl, but with lip liner. Remember the lip
Yeah,
liner?
of course.
Remember like the Puerto Rican trend that like everybody did for a while? That, and it didn't look good. And she did that. She had a lot of dragon tattoos. Just randomly, like she kept going back trying to get a better one or something.
How old would you say she was?
I didn't have a good gauge. I'd bet she was
Late 20s?
mid late 20s. But she's like, "Oh, you showed up." I'm like, yeah, hey. And did took me in the back room for a private dance. And like, I know the rules. I know, no touching.
Yeah, sit on them.
No
sit
touching.
On your hands.
I'm not touching nothing. And she's grabbing my hands. I'm like, but there's no. I'm like moving them. I'm like, these guys will beat me up.
Yeah. I've been in that situation where a girl put my hands on her and they came back and I was like, bro. And she had to say, no, I did this. And I was like, mm-mm. Their necks are like this. I'm like, I'm not.
And
your titties are not worth my ass getting beat.
And it's
They're
not
just
like it's an above board business where it's like, yeah, but we want to beat them up anyway.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But weird enough, the one security guard at this place we would go to would come by, because again, we were fun. And the bass player who I got arrested with before, we were all there one time, and the security guard would just come up behind us and go, kids, gonorrhea, kids, and just point to all this shit. We're like, come on, man, what are you doing?
Ruining it for you.
He was being silly. And then the bass player who I got arrested, him and the security guard just went and saw Titanic together one day.
What? The two dudes?
And
What place is this, man?
I understand that these details make it sound unbelievable. But that, I'm a better storyteller than that. If I wanted to add to the story to make it spicier, I would say like, oh,
Like
and then,
that rum.
Oh, then yeah. Like, I'll Captain Morgan's the shit the right way. I can tell a story. That's why it's a fun detail, because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It was all hanging out.
They
We,
went to see
we should be
Titanic.
buddies. Yeah, we did hang out. They got along. What'd you guys do? We went and saw Titanic. The fuck? Hey, man, live your life. So anyway, this girl goes, you're going to come with me tonight.
And she tells you.
Yeah. Well, and that's I told you. The only way I'm going to lose my virginity is a woman saying,
what you said.
I'm gonna do this to you.
Like, you got to be invited in like a vampire.
So there's no question that this is in her ballpark. I am not pressuring anybody. I am not making someone else I'll make the mistake. I am here to be the journalist of bad choices. Like that was where the comedy was starting. Even before as a stand-up was like, all right, I'll go out there and report back.
Yeah.
I'll be the embedded journalist.
Thank you. I can't tell you how many times I've said yes for the story.
Yeah.
For the story.
I can't do it anymore. I've done it enough. You see comics that are like 50 and still like, we got to say yes. Like, no, you don't.
No, you
Nah,
don't.
dog,
bro.
you got a family. You let the young kids get their chops. But so I told my buddy, I'm like, she just said she can't take me from here because, like, you know, obviously what she does for a living, but she's gonna pick me up at a gas station over at Grand and Manheim. So you got to drop me off there. I was like, oh boy. So they close down. I go. My buddy takes me over to that gas station. I wait there. She drives up, black and red Camaro.
I was gonna ask.
Kind of nice.
Camaro, bro. That is
late
I'm a
80s
Camaro
style
fan.
too. Not that rounded
like glass
one.
T-tops.
Yeah, I don't think it was T-tops. Honestly, the details started to get real hazy because now it was like, oh, now I know what's going to happen. And I get in the car with her and I'm
So you're the person who's about to take your virginity pulled up, pick you up in a Camaro
this serpent.
to drive you
This
away. It's
serpent
very
came in a
dragon-like.
black and red Camaro. Get in, loser. We're taking your virginity. And I get in and I'm like quiet because I'm like, oh, this is it. This it's happening. It's gonna happen. We're driving and I finally just have to admit, like, I didn't know how to. I'm like, I'm a virgin. And she just goes, not for long. And I was like,
I love this, Chris. I love Chris.
And then at that point, I was like, because you think you're going to be the sexual bad boy. You're like, I'm not. I just wanted to be nice. I want it the other way. I wanted this to be a mistake when I'm a junior with a girl's a virgin and we're both awkward. I want that. Why didn't I do that?
You went
when I
right
was
from
16?
the bench to the pros,
Fucking
bro.
21, drunk on spiced rum, and I'm about to get fucking wrecked. That's what's about to happen. So we get out to Joliet. She's like, we can't go to my house.
How long of a drive are you guys?
Forever, as far as I was concerned. You figure, where was that? It was like Grand and Manheim. Figure O'Hare out to Joliet. So,
Do you have
45
condoms?
minutes.
Are you?
Shit.
Nothing.
She was ready.
She's
prepared.
Is there any part of you though that's like, yes, finally? Like, is there any part of you that's obviously you're still going?
There was a little bit. But as soon as when I was like, I'm a virgin, and I was kind of hoping for, hey, let's make this
Little
a nice
hand rub
thing.
on the knee, or like, oh, I got you.
She thought like, oh, well, I think she was also like, well, let's give you the story of a lifetime. I didn't want that story. That's not the story. I wanted a little
story I wanted,
I'm a
though.
little sweet Kyle. I'm a little sweet Kyle. Sweet Kyle. I gotta go back to my mom and dad's after this. I gotta get back. So. I gotta go back. We go out there. She's like, we can't go to my house because my neighbors know what I do for a living. I'm like, oh, all right.
What the fuck does that mean? If they know, why
It means
the
she
fuck
did
can't
this
you
last
go?
night with somebody else. It means she's
Or the
probably,
neighbor's her
she's-
boyfriend. You
She's
know?
probably just a hooker, but had to like pay it. Like the fucking light bill was a little bit more than she thought this month, and picked up a shift at All Stars. So we go to Days Inn in Joliet.
And she pays?
Yeah,
girl paid.
She goes in. She's like, "I'll go handle this because they know what I do for a living." She said it twice. Twice she said they know what I do for a living. At your neighbors and the people at the Days Inn.
The Days
I
Inn.
want to know what you do for a living. Go to a Days Inn and it's just we're hanging out.
But you don't pay. This girl also paid to take your virginity.
Yeah. I'm a John.
This is a great story.
I'm the.
But it's also your first ever.
But I'm not the John. Then I'm the hooker. I got paid. I was paid for.
Yes, you were bought. You were bought, bro. That woman paid to fuck you.
What horrible
Days in got your money.
What
though,
horrible quality control on her part.
This is your freebie. Like you
so
got a
much,
punch card.
You could have got so much more for your money, Crystal. If you're watching, Crystal, I'll Venmo you.
It was the sleeves, bro. Those rolled up sleeves got her.
Man, I probably went
her.
through at least 3/4 of a pack of her Newport 100s out of nerves.
Did you roll your cigarettes up in the sleeve?
I ran out. I was smoking hers. Noopy 100s.
All right, so she gets you inside.
Long menthols.
You're talking. Is she smoking weed or just cigarettes?
Nothing. Everything, bro. I was just sober at that point.
So what happens?
Sober, and knowing I'm about to do a mistake that's not going to be as cool as I think. Disrobe, and all right, time for sex, and it's like I'm trying to I'm not really attracted to her. Like I was attracted to the idea of what was going to happen, but then, days in lighting, not the sexiest, no scarves over a lamp. And so kind of and she's, she's filleting me. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, well, I got to say something dirty. I'll say something dirty to her. I said, he's sucking my balls. Like I'm like, maybe that's a thing?
It's a thing, yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, finally, you're participating."
Oh, that's what I'm talking.
And just
she's like, there he is.
it's like when you see the golden retriever with the 3 tennis balls, it just went, just getting all the corn off the cob right away, and simultaneously, like I told you,
she's not a veteran. She's a veteran.
The longest talon.
Yeah, right up your. Wait.
Just this means fuck you, and it physically.
She shoved you.
The symbolism became the realism. The symbolism went to realism.
The first time you had sex, she shoved the finger up your ass. You did go pro right away, bro. I had the sex you wanted to have. When I lost my virginity. I went from exactly what you wanted.
Oh God, I wanted that. I went from strip mall taekwondo to MMA in 30 seconds.
Club MMA.
Yeah, just fucking like. How many knuckles deep are you trying to go? Is there a wrist in there at this point? And I just.
But did you love it?
No,
you didn't. Okay.
Why would I? Now, give it a shot.
Exactly. Crystal might have just warmed you up for everybody. Man.
I remember this is where when the details. I remember I put my hand on her forehead and pushed her away, and I remember I said, "That's enough of that."
What a hell of a thing.
Because I didn't know how to get out of it. Because she showed no signs of stopping, and it was uncomfortable.
That's enough.
Because I didn't want to ruin the mood.
That's the best. That's enough. Please stop.
No, because I didn't want to sound like it was bad.
Or just take it out with your.
I wanted to sound like we're moving on to something else.
God, it's so proper.
And then we kind of had sex. And
that might be the greatest line I've ever heard.
I never came. She's like, "Did you come?" I was like, sure." God. Like, there's no way I did. And she slept. She ground her teeth. I watched the sunrise in a January Joliet sunrise from a Days End room, chain smoking Newport 100s
next to a stripper grinding her teeth.
I had never slept next
with
to
a sore asshole.
I never slept next to a woman, and so I didn't even know what grinding teeth sounded like, and I thought something was wrong with the bed because it was like a.
She was getting at him that hard.
And I was like, what have I done? You get one chance. And I was like, well, you got to tell it.
That's a great
you got into it.
Man.
You didn't do this for yourself.
That's a great one. A prostitute.
Crystal, I owe you for the story.
Here's to you, Crystal.
I owe you for the story.
A prostitute paid to have sex with you. God bless. God bless.
even look at it that way. Oh, fuck. I'm sweating now. I'm sweating just thinking about it now.
Oh, man. Okay. Does Crystal drive you home?
Crystal
You still
brought
got
me
to
back
spend the
to
morning.
my-
Yeah, how's that ride?
Where was my car was, I think my car was at my friend's house or something. It wasn't back to my folks' house. But my mom was also like, call every night. Even if you're not coming home, just call and let me know. So all you got to do is call. And it's like, I understand that reasoning, but like, it's like, oh, so she knows you're safe, but also it's a bit of a control thing. Like, no matter where you are, I'm going to know where you're at. It's like, I'm an adult, but I'm also an adult that lives under your roof, not paying bills. So I can't really sit here and be like, I'm an adult, because they'd be like, fine, pay for your own shit. And I'd be like, your little boy's hungry. What's in the fridge? So I remember just like getting in my car, like fucking hickeys and shit. I'm just like, cold out today. Brr. When did you start with scarves? Like, shut the fuck up, man. And I told
Please tell me when
told-
Crystal dropped you off, she peeled out.
I wish.
Please tell me.
I wish. No, but she came back in the next night I was working at the gas station.
She did.
To like just hang out.
All right.
But like
she liked you
being,
then.
yeah, but being like, I feel bad, but like being real trashy about it. Like, my wallet was on the counter. She just dropped it in her pants. Like, ew. I'm like,
I like Crystal, man.
I'd like Crystal now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You weren't ready for Crystal. Yeah, out of the gate, Crystal's not what you need.
I don't think
That's bodacious, the bull out of the gate.
I should say I don't think I'm still not ready
I'm
for
not
Crystal.
ready for Crystal.
And I think,
Crystal
you know what? I
ruined my
think that
life.
morally, I think who I am now, I think I'm glad that maybe I'm not a person who was ever ready for Crystal. Let's put it that way. I think that maybe as much as I wanted to be bad boy, cool rock and roll dude, I was just raised too correctly to really embrace that stuff.
Let's take a quick break and tell you about our next sponsor, Manscaped. Support for the Honeydew and my balls is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer. It's the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code HoneyDew at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level. All right, Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys. This upgraded trimmer includes a multifunction on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong, man. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HoneyDew at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use code HoneyDew. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Our next sponsor is Purple. Doesn't it seem like the world's against us from getting a good night's sleep this time of year? I don't know about you, but I got construction out back. We got all kinds of garbage going on right now. So when you need to have a good night's sleep, you got to get a Purple mattress. You can sleep cool and comfortable no matter what the world throws at you. That's because only Purple mattresses have the grid. Its unique ventilated design allows air to flow through to help you sleep cool, even when it feels like 1,000 degrees out. And the grid is is amazingly supportive for your back and legs while cushioning your shoulders, neck, and hips, all right? No matter how you sleep, unlike memory foam, which remembers everything, the grid bounces back as you move and shift. So you never get that I'm stuck feeling you do with memory foam, all right? Try the Purple mattress out. It's risk-free. You get free shipping and returns, and financing is available too. And I got one of the Purple pillows, and I've never had a better pillow. I'm a side sleeper, and I'm always bunching it up and everything. This Purple pillow, it lays perfectly. And the last 2 nights I've used it, this is true, slept like a baby. Purple is comfort reinvented. Right now, you'll get 10% off any order of $200 or more. So go to purple.com/honeydew. Use the promo code honeydew. That's purple.com/honeydew, promo code honeydew for 10% off any order of $200 or more. Purple.com/honeydew, promo code honeydew. Terms apply. Now, let's get back to the do.
I had too much of a decent upbringing to like lean that way. The guilt would always bring me back to like,
So you never had sex with her again?
No.
And did she ever hang out with you again after that second time in the gas station?
No,
But wouldn't you see her at the strip club?
I do. Well, this is the thing. Like, okay, in the real talk about it, I think there probably was some trauma because I've never been to therapy, so I don't know
with you or with Crystal, because I will say there's a lot of trauma.
No,
with
to me, definitely to me, because
from that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why do you think
for the
that?
longest time? Well, I don't know, because I drink a lot, but I would never come. You know, like I would drink and hook up, and would always couldn't finish sex for the longest time, and to the point that I did go. I went to. I had one. It was gal I was dating out here who like finally got mad at me about that happening, and like was like, "What are you like? Are you gay or something?" And then realized that was a harsh thing to say, and then suggested for me to go to like was talking to her therapist about it, and I'm like, fine, I'll go see somebody. But I went to like the UCLA student therapists, which they don't know shit. They're still in college.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I didn't have insurance. I'm like, I'm not paying full price for fake problems to get fixed. So I went for like 3 weeks. I went and talked to some student who was like a woman, was an attractive woman. So that made it hard for me to kind of discuss the problem, and I just stopped going. So I never addressed it. And for the longest time, I was just accepted like, nah, you're just kind of a broken dude and whatever. Like sex wasn't a priority before. Now it's proven that it's not a priority. I have, happy to say, since been, the ship has righted itself, which is a good thing. But also, like, we had gone to a strip club in the city, had to be a few years later, just a different strip club. Because after that night, she came back, and I never saw her again after that. And we weren't going that much anymore. That was kind of like, all right, I did the thing, and I can back off from this. But then I saw her, and I think I had, like, PTSD.
Really?
Because I saw her come out, and I got, like, scared shitless. I got like nervous and sweaty, and like
Did she come over to you
I
and
freaked
stuff?
out. She's like, hey, and I'm like, oh fuck! It's like she recognized me, and I left.
You
like,
bailed?
yeah, like I got freaked out. And again, not the macho cool thing, but like yeah, I think so there probably was some like actual life results and effects, but that's not fun.
Yeah, well.
You know, that part of the story's not cool. Camaro was cool. She also said she also had a motorcycle. She was like, this Camaro's nice. She's like,
She
she's like, I
did.
fix it myself. I'm like, they're rough hands, man. They're fucking big.
Might have been oil around those lips.
All around big knuckles, man. Those big broken knuckles.
So
Anyway, what other stories you want?
well, let's hear about. All right, so you say you may have had trauma. So let's hear about the first time you actually had sex with a person where it was mutual. Like, let's do this, and looked forward to it.
Oh, that
How many years later? I'm guessing years.
Probably like a year or so.
Yeah.
That one I felt, and I felt bad about that one because that was a girl that I was
Is that
dating.
a girlfriend? Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of dating her, but I wasn't taking it seriously. And then one night she wanted to have sex, and she was virgin, and I tried to talk her out of it.
You're like, listen, man.
I was
Let me
like,
get Crystal on the
are you
horn
sure you
real
want to
quick.
do this? Like, this isn't. It should be special. Trust me, it should be special. Let me tell you now. And we had sex. And then
And did you feel differently after that? Did you finally feel better? Like, okay, this is actually something that, or were you still in that same?
It did, but then I felt bad knowing them. Like, oh, I don't plan on seeing this person for a long time. So then I felt bad.
Have you ever had guilt-free sex?
With strangers, you mean?
Or anyone?
Well, with
How
the
long
way
did it
things
take?
are now, I was a real whore from 2010 to 2014. Like, I was a real, like, now I don't think I was a creep, but I was definitely not like I was out having sex.
Yeah, you were single.
I was single,
You were
and maybe
single.
maybe it's guilt telling me that like it was
look, when I'm single, I'm very single. When I'm not, I'm not.
yeah, but
I hear you.
But it was like I'm like, oh, we're hooking up, and then somebody's like, well, aren't we doing a thing? I'm like, no, I thought it was two adults hooking up, and I was misinterpreting someone else having feelings. So I thought that was guilt free, and I've been in a relationship since 2014, and so obviously that's guilt free.
Well, there you go. You
And
gotta see you
therapeutic
beat
and being
Crystal.
with somebody who's understanding.
And it's righted itself. you
Yeah,
said. So
and like and
Crystal's
someone,
defeated.
yeah, and someone you could talk about your past problems and things that are a funny story, but that are kind of maybe hiding some trauma that you can work out with somebody. And not to get all schmaltzy, but the great thing about being with somebody that you love and trust is that, like, all right, here's all the shit that's wrong. And if you want to split, I understand. But if not, I want to work on all this stuff with you to create a good relationship.
Yeah, and to
which is
minimize the
happening.
amount of times this bullshit rears its ugly head.
Yeah. Like
That's it.
I'll just tell you why this is happening
Yes.
and what past results have been, and let's get it out in the open. So
Yeah, that's great. That's the spot to be.
yeah,
That's the spot to be. All right, I want to shift gears because I know you
All right.
you got to get going here in a little bit, but I want to hear about getting pulled out of your sister's fucking house by the police. You just dropped that nugget in there, and that was
Dude,
this
all
week,
right.
last
Yeah.
week.
So I came down from Oregon to I'm gonna come back to LA. I bought a van to put my mountain bikes in and to tour in. So I got
Kind of van. What do you got?
Ford Transit high roof,
Oh, yeah, the
RV.
high roof. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it. I got back down to LA last Friday, and my sister's in Hollywood. Her and her gal were out of town, so I'm at their place, and everything's fine. I'm getting my favorite pizza, whatever's hanging out. I had a show Saturday night outdoors. Got kind of ripped beers, canned Mai Tais, real shitty drinks. They will put the screws to you. So I have these canned Mai Tais, whatever, Saturday night. Feel like, yeah, back, great show, fun times. Sunday I wake up, wicked hungover. And I'm kind of just laying around handling shit. I'm trying to clean up my mess. I take the trash out the back door of their place. Now I'm laying back on the couch, just barefoot. And I hair pushed back is one thing, but this is how I'm looking. It's usually up and all fucked up. And I'm aware. I know I look, I look pretty homeless. And all of a sudden I see somebody come through the gate into their little patio, and they're wearing masks. I was weird because I thought it was my sister and her girlfriend, but I'm like, why would they be wearing masks coming to their own home? But I saw them, and then the door opened a little bit. Their front door opened a little bit. I'm like, oh, maybe it's a utility landlord called maintenance or something.
What time of day is it?
2:30 in the afternoon. And so I get up, and I open the door, and it's 3 or 4 cops with guns out.
Whoa.
And just step out of the house, right away, my hands went up, whoop. And apparently I tripped off a silent alarm going out the back door. It was a panic. This is the thing. It was a panic alarm.
Oh,
It was the panic alarm. It was the please call the cops right now alarm. But I'm just I'm barefoot and looking like I just found a hot water source.
hot water sauce?
So I can't come up on them about anything. And I was like, whoa, they pulled me out. They're like, well, panic alarm was tripped. Everything was fine. They did their jobs. I know everybody has their opinion about police right now. And I put the video online and people were like, that was aggressive. I'm like, I was there. it wasn't aggressive. And like people are like, you're fucking friends of the cops. I'm like, nah, I got my beef with the cops too. But in this instance, everything was handled as it should. It's because you're fucking white. All right, I know that. You don't have to tell me that. I've seen what's going on, but I also look like of all the white.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on the suspect end of white.
You're definitely on a suspect.
I'm definitely on that end. But that
barefoot,
was just barefoot and fuck, just bleary eyed, like, whoa, man. That was Sunday. As I'm standing outside in the patio and they're like realizing it's not an issue, we hear 3 gunshots coming from like Santa Monica and Cahuenga, and they are like, can we go check that out? Because that seems like it's more important. They leave. That night, there's 3 earthquakes.
Yeah.
I'm laying on the couch.
Okay,
I'm laying on the couch, still thinking about how the day went down. And then fucking, God's building inspector comes along to fucking go kick the tires on Southern California. I go out to Joshua Tree because that's what you do. I got my van stuck in the desert, spent 4 hours trying to dig it out before I wound up with like, those like the big meth pickup trucks you get to see out at the Inland Empire?
Yes.
Like they're real tall, like they're just trying to like hide from alimony payments kind of thing. I had to get one of those dudes to come and pull me out. Yeah, because I called AAA and they came out like something from a Disney movie bouncing along the street like, oh, we can't do this. I'm like, I told you what was going on. And that's where like, we just got to call a guy. Like they just got a guy. Like we got to call Garrett. I'm like, all right, call fucking Garrett. That happened. That was Thursday after we kind of camped through like a windstorm for 2 days. I finally get pulled out of the desert. I come back. Some shit went down. Friday night I did a show where they had to like physically, like a heckler rush the stage.
Where the hell was that?
Out in Echo Park at this show behind a barber shop. And
somebody ran on the stage?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think like, man, all right, we're
back.
just getting back. We're just getting back to shit. But assholes have been cooped up too.
They have.
There's just been assholes not knowing.
The hecklers have been cooped up too.
Yeah, like imagine being an isolated asshole. Like where do you go? You go to the comedy show first thing and you fuck up everybody's night. That was Friday. I got my Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Now, this is the bit. I'll do the bit. Johnson & Johnson vaccine is appropriate name because it feels like you're getting fucked by 2 dicks at once. That took me out Saturday night. I was down so bad with chills. I think they just gave me COVID. Like, I don't even think they gave me a vaccine.
They did.
No, I think they gave me the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think I just got the full blast of it. That took me out Saturday and yesterday. I canceled shows Saturday and last night. And now I think the vaccine, I don't want to like propagate bad information. All I know is now if I got arthritis or gout, my knee doesn't bend. And then some other bullshit happened. I don't know, man. It's been a week back in LA where I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, man.
Get me out of
I
this town.
appreciate you fucking even making time to do this, for God's
I
sake.
forgot you're in Santa Monica, right? I've flown to China to do shows. I wouldn't come to Santa Monica to do gigs when I lived here. People are like, hey, I got a great show. I'm like, sure, man. Where is it's at the West Side. Come on. Good luck with that show. Good luck with that, man.
These traffic's not that bad these days coming here.
You got 50 minutes to drive, another hour and a half to look for parking. Fuck. I was already late being here. And I'm like driving, and my knees hurt, and I find one spot. I get all the way out, finally get my water, my coffee. I walk all the way around to the meter. It's out of order. I'm like, oh,
that's a free one.
Suck my dick.
No, that's a free one.
Really?
Yeah. If it's out of order, you're allowed to park there.
It's not doing me any good now.
Oh, shit, yeah. I learned that here from the police I work with. If it's out of order, you just got a free one, yeah.
I was wondering, because
I always thought it wasn't, because people back in the day, they used to take coins and jam it in there and fuck it up. But now with this digital shit, not only that, these fucking meters here, once the meter runs out, you can't refill it. There's a weight sensor in it. And so I thought maybe it was a different person's car. Nope, you got to pull off that fucking thing. It's crazy.
I didn't know that. Well, I didn't even know if they're still checking stuff, because because we moved out in June and I was in Hollywood, we had somebody just left their pickup truck there. But it was one of those dickhead park jobs where it was in between what could be 2 spaces. And finally, it was stick shift. So I broke into it and just popped it in neutral and moved it myself. Because I was like,
But yeah,
it was abandoned. Like, and they were like, oh, no, we're not towing any cars. I'm like, all right, man, we got to do some street justice, I guess.
I would have just drifted that up to a red curb and let them get it.
I
They
was
come
trying,
get it.
like, I was like on a hill. I could barely like scoot it, but I was already kind of. I didn't even break anything in the car. I actually unscrewed the latch on one of the windows. I was impressed with myself because, again, I'm a good person.
Yeah, you're good, Kyle. Well, look, bad boy, I appreciate you being here, and I know we got to get you out of here. But before we do, I told you at the beginning, I'm going to ask you now, what advice, after everything we've talked about, would you give the 16-year-old bad boy Kyle?
I think I was screaming about it earlier. I think, man, I think some of the stories, it's weird because advice only works from wisdom. Like, you got to live to get the wisdom. So the advice is, but it's that with storytelling, like, you can turn anything into a compelling story with skill. So maybe you don't have to be the life of the party and the loudest one there and the guy who's going to do all the crazy shit. Because in retrospect, when I thought I was being the life of the party, I was just an asshole. Like, I don't know if you have this time, like, man, boy, everybody thinks you're the most fun one. It's like, no, you're just yelling loud enough that you don't hear the people going, what a jagoff. Like, that's
great advice.
Maybe calm down and, like, appreciate what other people are doing instead of trying to outshine them. Like, it's not a competition for attention. Like,
that's great. Look, I love what you're saying right now because there is something to be said for the person who's present and takes it all in and is then the narrator or author of these stories later down the line, you know, and turns that bullshit into something that's very well said.
You don't have to be the main character
that's
in every
great.
story. You can observe and collect these stories and retell them, and it could be just as fun or entertaining or compelling whether or not it happened to you. And I look back at the friends, like the real artists that I was growing up with, were the ones that kind of still were mentally documenting what was happening. Were around for it, but weren't trying to make the headline out of it, you know?
That's great, dude.
So,
well, thank you for coming on here. This was a lot of fun.
we got in there.
It was a lot of fun. We didn't even talk about time you almost quit comedy because of that chick. Was it Crystal?
No, that was a whole different girl. That was a whole different girl.
One more time, plug whatever you want, promote whatever you'd like, please.
It's just Kyle Kinane on all the platforms. I really only mess with Instagram now, and even that, not a fan of being on there.
I hear you.
I'm out there. Just look it up. I put an album out last year. I think it flopped. So check that out. It's my most proud thing I've put out in comedy, and it shit the bed. So go check that out. I think it's on Spotify. Maybe this is why it flopped, because I don't know how to promote things. I think it's on Spotify. Go listen to it 100 times so I can get a cup of coffee.
There you go. Well, as always, Ryan Sickler on all social media, ryansickler.com. We'll talk to you all next week.